Welcome back to my YouTube channel. For those of you that are actually here for this third video, again, appreciate it. If we're gonna veer off from the second video, I was talking about, just the struggles that I've went through, just relapsing, or not relapsing, but coming off of my MS. I wanna try to make this a pretty short video. I know my other ones were pretty long, I had a lot to say. With that being said, I believe that we were leaving off on, saying like, oh, like people with MS, they say like you're not going to be able to walk in the future, you're going to have weak legs. Like I had kind of like mentally told myself like, well, guess what? Like I'm going to squat heavy, I'm going to lift heavy, I'm going to do everything in my power to just overcome and combat whatever it is that they say that I can't do. I've always had a mindset like that. I remember just back in the day, I had a buddy, that was my freshman year, he had told me, we were deadlifting, and actually he was like, he had started off at doing like 375, 365, because we were just doing incremental growth situations. I think we had started the weight at 275, we were just incrementally going up, and he couldn't do the 365. And we wanted to get to 405, and I was like, in my head, I'm like, why even waste time with 365? We were on our fourth and final set. It just didn't make sense in my mind. So I went up to just 405 at that time, and he had told me, he was like, Ashby, I think you should just do 365. You're not gonna get 405. As soon as he said that, I was like, now I'm going to get 405. Like I didn't say shit out loud, but I was like, now I have to get 405. Like that's what you decided to put me on. Like that's what you decided to do here today. So I will get 405. I remember going down and lifting the weight up, and I was pushing and pulling so hard. I actually ended up ripping. I had a calluses that was on my finger. I ended up ripping that calluses completely shear off. I was like bleeding really badly. But there was just no way. Like you can't tell me that I'm not gonna be able to do something. It's just not gonna fucking happen. As soon as you tell me no, I'm gonna have to do it. Because that's just, you don't get to decide what I can and cannot do. I think that's another problem. I've always had a little bit of a problem with authority, because authority kind of dictates on what it is that we can and cannot do. We don't need to go into all that, but like I've had a little problem with authority, because no, if I want to do something, I'm gonna do it, no matter what anybody thinks, no matter what anybody says, no matter if they think it's crazy. I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna do it. Now, with that being said, really what I wanted to touch on today was, there was three things that I wanted to touch on, which is going to be just the three things that overall I feel like my experience with MS has taught me, and maybe even something where it's developed over the time that I've just been alive, and just kind of all the struggles that I've been through in life, right? And those three things were, we don't have a whole lot of time in this world. Like society, what society does and what our world does is they basically mask the fact that we are guaranteed to die. It gets masked, right, by all these different things, all these different products, everything that's just like jumbled up in this world. You have alcohol, you have drugs, you have all this technology. You get distracted by all these different things. There's so many different fucking distractions that like veers us off of reality. Like, and the reality of it is that we're guaranteed to die. That's it. And so you start wasting all this time on like Netflix, you start wasting all this time on social media, this, that, and the third, and then you hit fucking 78, or I'm not saying everybody dies at 78, but you hit old age, and you're looking back and you're like, fuck, I wasted all this time. I wasted all this time not doing shit. And it's like, yeah, you did. Like you could have been doing something. Like you could have been doing something instead of sitting on the couch and watching TV, or going out drinking with your friends. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying like going out and having a drink with your friends is bad, or is something that you shouldn't be doing. But like every day, every weekend, bro, like no, like put something together, like leave a mark or something. Like we don't have a whole lot of time. And I'm just saying, like, if that's how you want to spend your time, awesome. But 60, 50 years from now, don't look back and be like, fuck, like I feel like I wasted all this time, because nobody's there for you. Nobody's gonna grab you and pick you up and say, oh, you should be doing this. That's not how the fuck that works. It's just not how it works. And so I want to say, like, there was times when I first got diagnosed with MS, that was a huge wake-up call. It's like, I'm not immortal. I'm not immortal, and I'm fucking around. I'm partying. I'm doing all this partying, and I'm wasting a lot of time. Like, I'm wasting so much time. Like, I don't know when I'm gonna die. And like, I haven't done shit in this life. Like, I haven't done what I want to do in this life. Like, I haven't left a mark that I want to leave. So that was huge for me. That was the one thing. It's like, we're not immortal, and we don't have a lot of time on this life, like on this earth, and that's something that you don't get back. Like, money's fantastic. Money's great, and like, everybody's chasing money. I myself, we're chasing money. But number one thing is time. Time is something that you don't get back. And then number two for me was definitely discipline. Like, just being able to be disciplined enough in order to do the hard things when you don't want to do the hard things. I think that, like, especially being blind and still saying, like, I'm not gonna let this affect me, and I'm not gonna let it affect my day-to-day life, and not let it affect how it is that I want to live my life, was huge, and it really built a brick in terms of just like my passion, and just in terms of like my heart and way, and the way that I kind of move about the cabin in terms of my life. It was kind of like, okay, like, I'm really tired right now, but is that an excuse for me not being able to do what it is that I need to get done today? Like, that can't be it. Because there's people out there that are struggling even more than I am. Like, that's no excuse. Like, I need to be able to do what it is I need to be able to do. Like, me being tired, oh fuck, oh, I have a hurt knee right now. Like, my knee, the tendons in my knee hurt because the nerves are fucked up. That sucks. You better get your ass in there and work that shit off. Like, you can come up with so many excuses as to why it is that you can't do something, right? Like, there's so many excuses, right? But then there's also so many reasons as to why you can. It's just like a mindset. It's a mindset on how you view your life. Straight up, like, it's a mindset. Like, I can either look at this, and it's just like, it's, we hear it all the time. I can either look at this glass half full, or I can look at it half empty. I swear to God, like, you better look at it the right way, or else you're just gonna go down that path, and that's not the path that you want to go down. Because then you just stay in that same fucking place all the time, and you just never grow. You never grow. And then the third thing was just being grateful, like, and it kind of plays into a little bit of what I was just talking about earlier, just with like the discipline side of things. But be grateful for what you got. 100%, because your shit could be fucked. Like, it could be a lot worse. You could really have it a lot worse. 100%. Like, yeah, and again, this all reverts. This is just stuff that I learned during the situation of MS, and like a lot of the stuff that like I had to go through. And I think I'm gonna do 4 things actually. Be grateful. Be grateful for what you have. 100%, because it could be a lot worse. You could not be able to walk, and then, and I'm not saying that for anybody that can't walk, I'm sorry, but you could not be able to walk. You could just have it so much worse. You could have been born in a different country where there's just not as many resources. You could have been born into a different family where there's not as many resources. There's, as much as we like to say, like, oh, like, I don't have this, I don't have that, I don't have the privilege of this, I don't have this, that, and the third. I'm gonna be really, really honest with you. Even the person that has it the worst on this earth, straight up, the absolute worst, like, everything's wrong with them, everything, they still are alive. They still have a purpose, 100%. They still have a purpose, because out of I believe the odds of being born a human is something like 1 in 499 trillion, something, it's like a stupid crazy ratio. The fact that you were born, like, take that dub. Take that dub. If that's what you can wake up with today, take it. Because that's a positive light that you're going into for the rest of the day. And you can feed off that. You can continue to go off that. Now the next one, and this one's like the harder one, I feel like, but the 4th one, and the one that I did for probably I embraced that for probably a couple years, and this was even before the MS situation, because I had other issues going on. Was embrace the pain, embrace that pain. Whatever you're going through, go into it. Like really, like put your soul in it. Like go dark. It doesn't matter. Like however dark that is, whatever darkness that you're in right now, feed into it 100%. Feed into it, feel it. Like absolutely just feel it. Just let yourself, like there have been times that I would just let myself be filled with it. Like let it just overcome you. For just obviously you keep it controlled a little bit, but let it overcome you. Embrace that pain. Embrace it 100%, because guess what? As soon as you learn to embrace the pain, and as soon as you learn to really feel what it feels like, later on when you become friends with it and you understand it and you understand why it is that you feel that way and where that comes from, then that's just something that makes you even more mentally strong, and that's something that you can use as a resource moving forward. Like it's something that builds you. It's something that like builds a brick house around you, because you know that you can't be shattered by outside thoughts or outside opinions or outside shit. That can't get you, because you have this brick around you. You know what darkness is like. You know what that looks like, because you felt it. You've really felt it, and you know what it feels like. So I would say everybody tries to run away from the pain. Don't run away from that shit. Run to it. Run straight into it. Run straight into it and connect with it. Let your mind go dark for a little bit. Obviously, don't fucking go out here and kill people and shit like that, but like let your mind go dark. Let those thoughts go dark. And if you need to be away for a second, do it. But go dark, understand why it's dark. Really, really, really look within when you're in when you're in that phase. Look within, try to understand yourself, try to understand where it is that everything's coming from, try to understand why there's that pain, like the entirety of it all. And I promise you, you're gonna come out a stronger fucking person, 100%. But yeah, that's it. That's the 4 things I wanted to go over. It was supposed to be 3. It's supposed to be 3. You see, I did that. It's supposed to be 3, but it ended up being 4 just because I just thought of that at the top. Again, I wanted to make this video shorter. It's 12 minutes, but other than that, appreciate you guys tuning in.